with any kind of development, there is the old and the new and good and bad, right? So one has to be balanced, I guess. But I have to say that when we started, we mentioned some of the struggles that we've had. But I think for a lot of the students that were here, things were easier just in the sense that they didn't have to pay as much tuition. The campuses, I would say, through pretty much the 1970s were really, this campus and what I know of the others, really based on the idea of a public university to educate students. Now, you and I may have had, we still wanted to have a diverse group of students, so there were some things I wouldn't like, but that was a positive thing. And I think beginning in the 1980s, a whole trend began, which has continued to become intensified, which has really turned the university into more of a private affair. It began in a lot of ways, but let me give you a couple of simple examples. And so, if you were here in 1975, 1977, 78, you had a very good student cafeteria, run by the associated student body with support from the university, and you get good pancakes, and it was a great place to eat and have coffee and relax and study. Again, then beginning in the 80s, we got Del Taco, and we got this, and we got that. We opened that up, to business. And that's just a very small example that really affects the students. But then the same thing happened throughout the university as a whole. And so, some of the science, aspects began basically joint partnerships with industry, and they became laboratories for industries. In some campuses, really the military corporation or corporations that depend largely on Defense Department contracts are really reign supreme. Now, the University of California has always made atomic bombs. Don't get me wrong that I'm innocent to that. But at least the campuses themselves, outside of Livermore, were really devoted to the idea of an education for the masses. The campuses are not, the University of California is kind of like a semi-private university right now without some of the benefits that you get from being a private university. So it's a public university that charges a lot, and what is very bothersome to me is that a lot of the corporations that are very, very deeply involved with the University of California here are all, if you read their slogans, they're all for sustainable this and even Exxon, I found out today, believes in sustainability. In fact, I guess there is not a single corporation in the United States that is not a big supporter of sustainability. So we have those slogans around sustainability, and the slogan that kind of bothers me a little bit more about this private university that we have right now is the fact that presumably we really believe in engagement. Now, I think that the University of California at Irvine and other places is really not very engaged with the communities, with working people. Their engagement is really with those interests that are really basically supporting it. So I think that began in the 1980s. This whole trend towards privatization has been really going by leaps and bounds since then. If I had to talk about a milestone, I think I would say beginning around the 1980s. And I think when a chancellor, his name was Jack Peltoson, came here, that's when this whole move turned this whole thing into a bazaar began. He, in fact, he fell short. I think he didn't feel accomplished because he actually really wanted to, he thought that a great university had to have a football team. So he fought really strongly for having a football team. He didn't succeed in that, bless his heart. So.